Hey guys, welcome back to the weekly Shlog. It's Morgan. We're at Highland Cycles and we are about ready to get after it this week. If you're new to the channel, this is our weekly Shlog or shop vlog where we chronicle all the cool stuff we do here at a motorcycle shop in Western Colorado. We're in Montrose, Colorado. We pretty much just work on dirt bikes. Every now and then we work on a street bike, like for instance, Mr. Zach Sheets, the angriest man in motorsports.
Corey, should I bring it around through the front door?
Yeah, bring it through the front door, yeah. Just got done working on this little Grom. Put a clutch in it and a rear tire. It's actually a 188 now with full Olin suspension and all kinds of super fanciness going on. Anyway, that was Travis Spitzer, who's dropping off a bike for a front tire tube. So anyway, there's Leandra. Say hi, Leandra.
Hi.
We'll get her more on film later. One of these days we're gonna get her dialed in and telling all the bad things about Zach Sheets, which is clearly mountains of bad things. So anyway, let's get after it. Alright guys, so first on my list is this 2005 250 SX. Let me show you what's going on here. So it's been leaking right here, tranny fluid, from this area right here. What's up, Spitzer?
Hi guys.
How's it going? Travis is one of our good customers.
I'm in my golfing attire.
Yeah, he's busy golfing. He's gonna go do some dirt biking here real soon. I'm gonna help him out, get him changed in, and we'll check back in on this. Right here is the connection between, this is the power valve actuator right here, and when this spins, it spins up enough, and centrifugally there's balls down in here in these little grooves, and it pushes this up, which then makes this go up and opens the power valve. Anyway, so there has to be some sort of connection here, and these are the parts. So it goes, try to show you kind of, goes like, it's like that, and then this goes on here, and anyway, whatever. So it's basically the same as the new bikes. It's just there's like one less of these involved, and there's an extra one of these because the cylinder doesn't have, the power valve cover doesn't remove all the way down to here, so you kind of got to tuck it up in there. So I got new ones. I think we should be good. The other one was leaking. This gentleman wants to sell this 250 SX, so if you guys are interested here, let us know. Shoot me an email, morgan@highland-cycles.com, or call us at 970-240-2197 if you're interested in this bike. It's a very nice bike. It's got a relatively fresh top end. I think it's 30, 40 hours, something like that. Oh, maybe 20 hours. It's got 20 hours on the meter right up here. I don't know if that's for sure when the top end was done or if that's rolled over, but it's low hours for sure. So yeah, get this all dialed in, fired up, make sure it's not leaking, and then we'll move on to the next job. All right guys, I got an interesting one. So I got this all on. I put it on without the side cover for the power valve and fired it up to make sure the power valve was moving and all that, and it wasn't. I took it apart, made sure everything was lined up okay, good, put it back together, did it again, it still didn't move. So now I've got it apart for a third time, and I'm looking, and this is interesting what I found. I've not seen this before. So this is how the mechanism is supposed to go, like this, and that raises this, right, and it pushes this up, opens the power valve, and there's balls down here, like I explained, that sling this out. Well, I was just fiddling with this and found that this can move independently of this. So I think what's happened is that there's I don't know, I think there's a notch in here in this that's not squeezed down tight. So I'm gonna take it apart and take a look. Let me show you. Aha. So this bolt wasn't very tight. That's okay. And let me see. You guys over here. So you can see that is not round. That's supposed to key in on that. Now, when we do it, I bet it'll be good. Let me tighten that, put that bolt in there. I don't know if you guys can see all this. There we go. I don't know how good that filming was there for a second, guys, but anyway, that's a D shape. It's supposed to fit on the D-shaped shaft, and it wasn't, so. Now, that is all nice and tight. Learning. I've never actually seen that happen before. This is an old style mechanism. I haven't worked on just tons and tons of these, so good to know. Now we can put it back together. I bet it'll be good to go. Alright guys, next on the lift is the 250 EXCF that we replaced the fuel filter before. It did not fix the bike. I checked the stator, well the pickup coil basically on the stator to see if that was the problem. It seemed like that's all fine. So we went ahead and we got a pump. We're going to do an aftermarket pump, one of these quantum rigs. Honestly, normally I'm not a huge fan of the aftermarket pumps. I've had issues with them in the past, to be totally transparent here. But the full pump system on these bikes is, first of all, crazy money. It's also not available right now. Yay. And the customer is willing to try this pump, and if it works good here, he's willing to give it a shot and take it out and ride it. It saves a ton of money, honestly. I think these are, I forget, they're like 80 or 90 bucks for the kit, or maybe even less. And normal, the whole pump housing for the KTMs is like almost $500. So it is a huge savings. So hopefully that'll go well. I'm gonna show you guys how we install that here. And like I said, fingers crossed that this takes care of it and we're all good. So first thing I got to do is drain the gas out of the tank. Then I'll pull the pump out, and then I'll show you how we replace it. Alright guys, got the pump out. Now, like when you buy this from KTM, you get this whole thing, and that's why it's, you know, almost $500 for something, whatever. It's because you're getting pressure regulator, all the hoses, all the housings, all that, but the pump itself is actually in here. So let's get that sucker out of here. So you want to be careful of these connections, because there we go. Now we just have these little plastic guys to push those in. Kind of a pain, but there we go. Get started. Now let's take a look inside of our box here, because the one thing about these pumps is they come with lots of different things, because the same pump works for lots of different bikes. So that's the important part right there. And I think these are actually pretty high quality pumps. I've just had issues with a few things. And it comes with all these filters and stuff, but none of these actually go on this bike. So that's for some other bike that this thing fits. So take it, put it in there, get it out of the way. Now, this is the tough part, because this hose is hermetically sealed to this thing. So what we need to do is warm it up. Obviously we can't use fire on it because this whole thing is covered with gas. So what we're gonna do, all right, so we get our heat gun, and all right, so this happens almost all the time. So the end of this thing likes to break off. Maybe you guys can comment a better way to do this, but I always end up doing it like this, and then we break what's left. There we go, and you can look down in there and make sure that it's clean and clear. Then we'll take our new pump. We're not going to rely on just the pressure of the hose for this. So, one second. We'll get our hose clamp tool with a little cool thing about these clips, guys, is that they're 2 different sizes, so you can't mess it up. One goes to one and one goes to the other. This is quite handy. So there we go. Pump's ready to go. Now I'll put it back in the tank and we'll try to see if this thing works. Hopefully we got her dialed in. Yeah, hey, check this out, guys. Got the kids back doing some work this week. So let's put those brooms up. Let's put them in the bathroom for now. And then let me see. I gotta find some work for these kids. They're doing good stuff around here, earning their keep, getting to keep go racing motorcycles. So yeah, I'm gonna figure out what I gotta have them do. But let me show you something real fast, guys. Thanks to one of you, I honestly can't forget who it was, or I can't remember who it was, who told me the kind of a super tech tip to get the fuel pump to line up quickly on these. Just take a piece of safety wire, run it through to here, and then we're gonna wrap that around this part of the pump, and we're gonna help pull it through. It'll help fish it down in there. So thank you, whoever did that. Make sure you chime in here and remind me who it was. I can't remember, but I've always gotten them in there without too much trouble, but I think this is a way cooler way to do it. Alright guys, so next on the list is this little 50SX KTM. It's kind of a newer problem for me. Yeah, usually these things have lots of clutch problems, lots of stator problems, lots of top end crankshaft problems because they get hot and kids blow them up and all that. But this one, the motor is turning over just fine, but the clutch is not disengaging at all. And these folks ride the wheels off their motorcycles. It's a farmer here in town. He's got 4 or 5 kids, at least 4, and they all ride, and they ride like every day, all day. It's nuts. Anyway, so I'm not sure. I got a clutch kit for it. I'm hoping it's just a clutch issue, and we can just replace the clutch and it'll be good to go. But I will bring you guys along and see what we find. Check this out. That's not a lot of oil, and it's an awful lot of clutch material on there. So this is going to be interesting. Go ahead and get this cleaned off, and then we're going to take that brake lever off and take the cover off and see what's going on.
Can I see? Oh.
So there's my kid Ewan checking it out.
That's not correct.
No, that's too much clutch material. That's like clutch material because your clutch has got metal in it, just like
off.
Yep, it wears off. So
that's not correct.
and Thomas just got done swapping a set of wheels for a street legal setup we're doing for a guy. Trooper's going to be here tomorrow to inspect that thing, and now it's got DOT everything. I got to put the horn on it actually, and then it'll be ready to go too. Aha! I think I found it. So it actually wasn't just because of the oil, which is disgusting, and that's all there is. But if you look right here, that bolt is hanging up. So I'm gonna tighten that down so I can take this apart. And I've got a clutch pack, so I'm gonna put it in there, but that's the problem right there. Now, I bet this will move. Yeah, so now it's moving without the motor turning over. So that's good. But like I said, we already have a clutch kit. I'm gonna pop this thing off, replace the clutch because that oil is disgusting. I don't know if we've ever done a clutch in this thing, and we have one, so might as well do it. So hang on.
Alright guys, did you do the Western Power Sport?
Yeah.
Probably there's something else on the back. I don't remember. Any questions there?
All right, so guys, if we look here, we can see that this basket is grooved just like the little KX basket was. I'm gonna file this one too to get through, because we already waited like a month and a half or 2 months for the clutch pack, so I can only imagine this is gonna take a while. So we'll file that down, smooth those out. I'll show you what that looks like when we get done. And then we got to replace the clutch pack on this, this is an interesting little thing. So it's got these bolts right here. We take those out, all this comes out, and then we can slide these off. I'll show you what that looks like here in a second, but it's kind of funky. And you can see, let's see if I can get close enough with this GoPro. There you go. See how that's all hooked and gnarly? So it needs a new clutch anyway. So guys, this is how a new KTM clutch works. It's kind of like an old school Recluse with these balls. These balls swing out like that with RPM, and that pushes on this plate, which then pushes this down and squeezes the clutch pack together, engaging the clutch to the transmission and making it go. So pretty cool. All right guys, clutch works great, bike starts good with clutch dialed in, working good, slipping like it should, also engaging when it needs to. In this week's episode of What Does the Air Filter Look Like? Let's take a look. Not awesome. Out here's okay, but that's covered up by the thing, but look at that. Disgusting. Now here's the telltale sign though. Try to be very careful not to get anything down in there. Oh yeah. There's dirt in there. Air filters, people. Please maintain your air filters for your kids' sake so the bike keeps running. Obviously the thing's been neglected quite a bit. There's the puppers. She's a porky wolf.
She's got a muddy snoot.
She's been having fun in the mud. So yeah, so now we're going to service the air filter, clean that air box, cover it up, get this all dialed in, and then give this guy a call and give him a scolding for his maintenance. I've given him lots of scoldings in the past. Problem is, his kids are kind of expected to take care of things. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I get it, but yeah, it's just going to cost more money, I guess. Alright guys, next on the list is a 2019 CRF 250 RX. This is owned by one Ed Dugan. Ed, how's it going? Ed is the gentleman who owned the 450 that I completely screwed up, but fixed with the cam thing. Anyway, whatever. So it was a bummer because when that bike went down because of my mistake, he was not in a big, it was kind of no big deal because he had this as a backup bike, this little 250. So he got it out and it ran okay for a little bit, then it just would not run. So they went through the whole fuel system, new fuel pump, or clean the injector, all this stuff, and just won't run. So he brought that, when I got the other one done, he brought this one back. So now I'm gonna check spark. That's one thing I don't think he ever, well, he might have done it originally, but he wasn't 100% sure if the spark looked good to him. So we're gonna find out if the spark looks good. So I got already obviously a tank out of the way. It's no big deal. Actually, Honda makes this really easy because they have this cable that goes here onto the pump area. So it makes it so you can lean this that way without stressing this hose or the plastic pieces. So thank you, Honda Motor Corporation. That's actually really nice. So now we're just gonna take the spark plug, we're gonna put it in the cap, put it onto the head, and then hit the button to see if it sparks. All right, so we need to get it to a ground, and I think that will actually work. All right, so it's a nice bright spark, faux show. That's good. That's good to see. So we know we probably don't have an electrical issue. So now I'm going to put it back in. I'm actually going to spray a little bit of brake clean just down into the hole while it's out. Put the plug back in and see if it fires. If it fires right up, then we know, well, we're at least pretty sure that it's just a fuel delivery issue. All right, we got the plug back in. Let's see what happens. So I have a weird feeling, and it's not an awesome feeling, that we may be really low on compression, because it spins over pretty fast, even with the plug in it. And obviously the spark's good. I feel like most likely the fuel delivery is good. And I mean, I just sprayed brake clean into the thing, so that's not the problem. So yeah, I guess next thing is to check the compression, and that is a bummer, because if this thing's blown up, poor Ed is going to be really sad. So yeah, we're gonna I might take the valve cover off to make this a little bit easier, and also be able to take a look in there and see, maybe just do a valve check real fast first, see if it's if any of them are really tight. So all right, here we go. All right guys, so checking the valves here, and it's kind of hard to get a feeler gauge in there anyway, but I'm pretty sure that I have found that the exhaust valves are tight, and that's really weird. That is super not what ever happens to motors. I mean, it does happen, but very rarely. The intakes are fine, and upon further inspection, let me show you what I'm seeing here. So see if I can get that. So if you guys look in there, you see that like residue around, that's the exhaust cam right there. You can see it's kind of black, and it over here, if you look at the intake, it's nice and shiny and clean, and that is black like aluminum is wearing. So that's not awesome. We've not ever done any work on this motor, so I don't know who has, but I have a feeling I know what happened. I think we're gonna find out. I'm gonna take it all apart and I'll show you guys what's going on, but here's my guess. You guys guess below in the comments as we go, and let's see if anybody gets it right. But what I think happened is that whoever adjusted the valves over tightened the cam cap, because that's really easy to do on these, because you gotta set these things at like 7 foot-pounds, and if you don't, then things, if you go too tight, it'll squeeze that and then wear that cam journal out. And if it's worn that cam journal out, it's pushing that cam down into the head, which then is holding open maybe one of the valves and keeping this thing from running. So I'm going to take the tension off the cam chain and pop this thing apart and take a look, because that is a bummer. So all right, here we go. All right guys, the bad news is truly bad. So if you look down in there, you can see there's just a ton of aluminum, and the cam is all scarred up. And then if we look over here, the cam caps, or cap, is junk. It's all scarred up and gnarly, actually on both sides. This side here is the exhaust side that's really bad, but the intake side is all scored up too. So I don't know for sure what happened yet, but as far as I can tell, that is most likely because it got over tightened. People do that a lot. They worry that since it's inside of a motor, they want to make sure it's tight, so they do that, and then it does that. Because again, Honda Motor Corporation, I don't love this. There's no bearings at all. It's just cams riding directly in aluminum. They hard anodize these journals so that they hold up, and as long as you do your job correctly and tighten them properly and all that, it's fine. But with this situation, it it got over tightened, and by doing that, it squished that anyway. It's not good, guys. That's a sad one. I'm happy to announce that it wasn't me this time that broke Ed's bike, but it definitely got broken. So I'm gonna check a few more things, make sure we're not dealing with like a lack of oil issue. But when I broke those loose, it definitely felt really tight. So I'm sure that's what happened. Also, I think this may be the first Honda, or the first of any of these bikes that doesn't have any bearing. Like all the Yamahas, they've had this problem too in the past where people over tighten them, but they have a gear or a bearing on the gear side of the cam, and then it just rides in aluminum on the other side, since it's not a lot of high load. This is the first one I think I've seen, just going back in my head, that doesn't have any bearings at all on the cam. So anyway, it's a bummer. Say hi to Leandra. She's on the phone.
Yeah,
Alright guys, so next on my list is a 350 SXF, and I really just want to show you one thing. We should put this in, file it under Tennessee sprockets, but look right here, we're, yeah, there we go. We're missing a few teeth. All of you from Tennessee, sorry. I had to do it. Anyway, but that's actually why it's here. We're putting new chain sprockets on it and a new rear tire. But yeah, like, oh, I don't even know how you let one get that bad. That basically is total neglect. So anyway, go take care of that, and then we'll get on with the next job. So good. So Zach is rebuilding this motor. If you guys have watched some of our Shlogs, I don't know, it's been a few weeks because we've been waiting on parts, but a gentleman had a bike that he bought that was all rebuilt, and then he bought it for lots of money, and then it locked up. The transmission locked up, the motor didn't, but anyway, turns out that the person beforehand had pushed this bearing in a little too far, and it broke this part of the case and pushed it out. Anyway, it jacked everything up. So we had to get new cases. And it's pretty cool. We got new cases from KTM, and I honestly didn't know until they showed up, but they came with all the bearings already installed in the case, and that is huge because the cases were about 800 bucks, 750, 800, something like that, which is about the cost of any set of cases from any manufacturer. But from Yamaha and Honda for sure, I know you don't get bearings with that. You have to buy all the bearings separately, push them all in. It's just a ton of work. So hats off to KTM for that. That is awesome. All the bearings are in there. Everything's ready to go. Yeah, I mean, the main bearings, everything. No seals, but that's okay. We have all those parts. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. Also, another real quick thing. Here is the parts list of the complete gasket kit. And again, they're killing it over the Japanese manufacturers. I mean, obviously you can get all that from the Japanese manufacturers, but it doesn't come in a single box with everything in it. So anyway, pretty awesome. Now we just have to hope, cross our fingers, that Zach doesn't botch it. All right, guys. I got the 350 all ready to go. New tire. He's got a moose in the back. New chain sprockets, ready to rock and roll. Let's get on to the next job. All right, guys, so on the lift now is an 06, I think, KTM 300. Gentleman brought it in for brake bleed, which we took care of, hanging idle, which we took care of. His throttle cable is kind of jacked up as it went into the carburetor. Is kind of, anyway, whatever. Got that fixed, got that adjusted, got free play back in the cable, because that's all it was. It was hanging idle, but it was hanging because the throttle cables had the slide just open a little bit. But here's the good one. So, oh man, so this is, hands down, this is the very first time I've seen this. So he was working on it and doing things, and when he got done with it, that was when he had problems with the hanging idle and the brakes and all that. And he was having a problem with his clutch. In my work order, it said clutch needs to be adjusted. So I felt it. It definitely, like, you pull it and it just bind up. Like, it wasn't doing anything. It would, like, the hydraulic pressure was there, but it would just stop. But it came in pretty far before it did that. I was like, okay. And I called him to ask if it had a recluse, because the old style recluse, the old Z-Start Pro would do that. It would, like, just be bound up and, like, not work until the bike was running, and then it would be fine. I called him. He said, no, I definitely don't have a recluse in it. So I took the clutch cover off, and let me show you what we found. So if you guys don't know what I'm looking at, that's okay. It just means you're not a mechanic. But if you do know what I found, it's pretty hilarious. So I'm now going to take this apart and show you what is wrong with it, but this is just, honestly, it was pretty funny. No offense. I'm not going to say whose bike this is, because I don't want him to get embarrassed, but it's so good. Anyway, so yeah, let's take this apart and show you what's up. If you guys didn't notice, this is the throw out that is supposed to push this plate out to let this clutch disengage, and it is on the wrong side of the pressure plate. This is supposed to be inside the pressure plate so it can push it out. But when you squeeze the clutch, which, you know, whatever, I'm not going to do it because it's too far. Anyway, all it's doing is pushing out and then against the clutch cover over here. So yeah, we need to take this apart. We got that off, that out. Now that can go back into its home. Now we'll take the pressure plate off, pull it off, put this on the correct side, and I bet it works just fine. All right, guys, here we go. This, instead of being on the outside, goes in like that. There we go. Then this pressure plate goes over it like that, and then we put our springs back in. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me for this week's Shlog. I hope that was awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're new here and you watch this whole video, you're already this far in. If you thought we earned it, I'd love to see you guys subscribe. We're really trying to grow this channel into something big. We're trying to spread this gospel of two wheels around the planet. We want more people riding dirt bikes because we think it makes better people. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me. Punk Rock Club, thanks for sticking around to the end. I love you guys so much. I hope you get out and spread the gospel of two wheels, and I desperately hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on and get out and ride your dirt bikes!